So it's difficult sometimes to juggle both while you are employed, but you need to hire right. Like Fatima said, you get a person. I don't invest that time in interviewing people to run my businesses. But I will not be here if I was not hiring people. Okay, that's a tricky one because you cannot do the business without hiring people. But then how you get the right people for the job? In my farm I've got the right person, in the other one I've got the right person, but you cannot juggle all of them. Okay, my intention is to have somebody who will run my own businesses. I'm still evaluating them. So that's my weakness, protecting your money when you generate it. My strength, I think I can spot businesses from far. Okay, it's just that the funding and the time is not
there. Yes, I love questions. Come on. Yes, I love engaging.
I'm Master Mahave, staying right at the practice here. I'm also running a workshop for mechanics. But now my question is, what is the best way of securing a business while you are not skilled to
it? That's a good one. What is the best way of securing your business while you're not skilled for it?
I love social media. You have learned it a long time ago. They normally talk about the school system in South Africa. They tell you the guys who didn't know anything at school, they're hiring their professors to make the job for you. Okay? So don't be scared to hire a person with a skill. Okay? Hire that person with a skill. You don't have to be educated yourself. You can have a vision, but just be prepared to pay for that skill. Understand? That's the only way that you hire that skill, you pay for it because you cannot do it yourself.
Love that. A round of applause. Any more questions from the floor? Love it. You are right here, my pal.
My name is Levo. I own a construction and digital business, Pwell. I have a question. You mentioned that you had so many businesses. So my question is, how do you know when your business is going on? What are the signs besides profit? But what are the signs that this one it's dying?
That's a difficult one, but I will attempt to answer it. Okay. The only thing that you want to do is your profits. Okay. But the one thing that you need to understand, you need to innovate. Okay. When your profits are going down, it's starting to tell you, look at your books. You need to have a little book. I've got a diary there of since 1998. Still there. When I had to talk here, I had to open up the diary because I write everything down. I write budgets. I write where I'm going. I write what am I going to do next year. Okay. And immediately when you see that you're not going to the right direction, you go to the things that you have written down and they will tell you where you're going wrong. So don't run the book out of your head. Okay, don't run the business out of your head. Whatever decision that you do, put it on the floor, on paper. And then whenever something goes wrong, you go back to that paper and say, I was aiming for this, but now it seems as if I'm going this way. What do I do to turn it back? Okay. Profits are always important, but you must also innovate. Otherwise, you'll be out of business. Okay. Most of us here, we are not going to be the business in the future because of this AI. Okay. But you need to learn AI so that you are competing. So prepare yourself for that. Learn the new things that are coming. Don't be scared of them. So learn new skills. If you know a business is going to go down, learn why is it going down? Is it a competition or is it you not interested in the business? What I've seen with a lot of, I'm sorry to say this, guys, a lot of black people run businesses from far away. Okay. A lot of businesses go down because you're not hands-on. And if you're not hands-on, you'll be robbed by your own employees, you'll be robbed by your own partners. It's hard to be a millionaire. It's hard because you don't sleep. Must always your eyes must be on deck every day.
I love that. You know, they say that it's, oh, you also have a question. I love
Dumela. Lekai. Okay, my name is Nthabise Malika. I'm from Longtail. Not yet into business, but I'm going to start soon. Okay, my question is kind of like personal, but then I hope you'll help me. Let's say I'm about to start something. I'm from a background of which we don't have anything. So let's say, for instance, I'm going to be the breadwinner. Then I start off something. So how do I keep everything in balance when I've made it? Because you know how families are. They'll be like, what about us? I already really seen. I just seen sheet, those kind of things. So how do you keep the balance when you have something? Like how do you juggle everything? All right, I have to pay my debts. I have to free myself from debts first because we have debts. I have to free myself from debts. I have to set up something, then focus on you. But then they don't understand that. So how do you like keep yourself the balance? Because we are chasing after happiness. I cannot make money and not be happy. So how do you like? How do you keep the balance there? How do you like? Yeah, make them understand when you're working on something, you will take care of them as well. Thank you.
The black text.
yes, that's
Guys, unfortunately, black text is going to be there, but you have to be cruel. You have to be cruel. I know a friend of mine who just started working 3 months ago. Okay, lost their jobs, stayed with their parents. The parents were taking care of them. Now the lady's making any good money. Okay, first month she started working. Half of her salary was going to the siblings, the sister, the mother. And I said to her, you know what? If you stop, just stop for 6 months and check how much money you are spending on your siblings. In 6 months' time, you will be able to help them even more than what you are giving them right now. Because you need to stand up. You cannot help somebody if you cannot help yourself. Okay. You need to stand up first. You know, they will hate you for 6 months. I mean, they survived when you are not working. They survived. You can give them basics. But don't go and buy bushes for them and cars and everything. You give them basics. They survived when we are not working. So be that disciplined. I know we got good hearts. But unfortunately, business will be ruthless. Unfortunately, for you to be able to stand up and help them better. Okay. I know you have to buy the bullet. It's difficult, you know, but you have to think about it. The money that you are giving them every day, and look at it in 10 months' time. What could you have done? You could have given them quite a lot of things. Okay. So please, guys, I know there is big text, but you need to manage it. Okay. As long as they can still eat, get electricity and whatever, it's fine. Let them not go and say, buy me this, that, and that, I need a car and whatever. What about you? You know, please, we need to teach the people how to. Okay. Some parents don't even need your money. They support you well, but unfortunately some. Yeah, but unfortunately this world is cruel. If you really want to survive, you have to put them aside. I've seen a lot of, you know, you blame people from leaving the townships and going to stay in Joburg or going to stay somewhere else. We blame them, but it's easier that way to sustain yourself going up. Then when you are there, that's when you see a big house starting to grow up. Okay. Because when you are there, then you can focus on yourself and you grow. You can only help a person if you have the money. Okay, and if you can sustain yourself.
Do we have another question at the back? Oh, all right. I love it when you're engaging. It means that you're listening.
All right, thank you. It's a question that is asked by someone who is joining online. I say, my name is Lawrence. My question is that what are some of the key strategies that you have utilized to overcome challenges and achieve long-term success in your business?
That's a very good question from our online audience. Thank you so much for engaging with us.
I think strategy number one is to avoid greed, guys. You build very slow. You have a long way to live. Okay, you're not going to die at 30. You're not going to die at 40. You're going to die at 80 or somewhere there. Okay, so the biggest strategy for me is to try to avoid greed and to try to avoid to building very fast and using certain methods. Normally, what I tell people, what you acquire, like not legally, you'll always pay for it. Okay, you won't see it coming, but you will always pay for it. Okay, I've seen people getting businesses illegally and whatever. 6 years down the line, they're down and out. Okay, so I try to toe the line as much as possible and build as slow as possible. And the other thing is you get help from other people. You talk, you attend seminars like this. We used to make seminars with Dr. Tawati and Dr. Malabo. They teach us these guys. The other thing is you need to read. The Bible says, my nation perished because of lack of knowledge. Okay, so read a lot. You don't need a human mentor. A book can be your mentor. Okay, I read a lot of books. If you read the stories of great guys, and you listen to where they started from, you will understand they didn't start easy. Okay, so the strategy for me is avoid greed, build very slow, and get mentors. Read those books. How did they do it? Okay.
I think I'm just going to close it off with one last question.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a question?
Yeah. Unless if there's someone.
Is there anyone else? Just pass the mic.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Herman, for honoring the invitation. My question is, in terms of political dynamics of the country, how do young people ensure that they are well acclimatized or acquainted with political dynamics and political legislations to position themselves to business? Because there's a link, by the way. You cannot thrive in business if you don't understand politics. And there's always a link. Politicians, they legislate, they regulate business. How, as a young person, yes, you are aspiring to be a great young business person, but there's an ignorance of politics. Like you just spoke about the E20s that they were scrapped. It was the legislation. In Cape Town, we saw there was unrest of taxis that were impounded. That's legislation affect business. Now, how do we stay abreast? How do we stay ahead? How are we acclimatized? How are we acquainted to understand political dynamics, political aspects that affect business, legislation compliance to position ourselves for business to thrive? Yeah, I think and it also links to funding. It also links to tax, the repo rate, the inflation, the Gini coefficient in terms of inequality rate, the what do you call this? The fiscals cliff, the tax evasions, the racketeering, and all this. Yeah, how? Because I've seen it in the private sector, public sector, in the mining. If you don't understand the politics, you won't do business. By the way, Steelport, for it to be the way it is, the issue is the people who own the land here and the leadership here, it's because they don't understand the politics. And those who are eating